Life's too short to drive boring cars. BMWs are such a great driver's car. Yes, in the pursuit of the ultimate driving experience, one would think that the ultimate driving machine would satisfy those needs. But balancing BMW reliability, durability, and life with the driving experience is always a question of sanity. Why would you possibly buy a car that spends more time in the shop than on the road? Many people have asked me why I drive BMWs, and I've even asked the same question myself, because quite often I wind up spending so much money just to keep those vehicles on the road, as well as many other owners of BMWs find out the hard way as well. So when people also use the term break my wallet or Bavarian money waster, those reputations come for a reason. So I'm going to personally summarize this for you so you can make a decision whether you want to clearly own one of these sport-tuned luxury cars by BMW. Let's get into it now. So the first reason why people buy these in the first place is because it's almost like a bad addictive drug. It's like cigarettes, for example. You start smoking cigarettes and before you know it, you don't even realize it and you're hooked. And then you just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. Even if you're a glutton for punishment, you still feel compelled to continually using the product. Now, whether that's driving a BMW or smoking a cigarette, it's all part and parcel. Because while there's a lot of great cars out there, very few of them actually know how to connect the driving dynamics together, from the handling, the performance, even the efficiency like BMW does. And up until the last couple of years ago, you could still get a stick shift in a BMW, which sadly enough, now it's finally gone, other than the M3 or M4. Let me give you an example of a great driving BMW. Right here we have a BMW 335, and this one features the wonderful refined N55 single turbo twin scroll engine. Now it's 3 liters, inline 6, and has over 300 horsepower, makes this car exceedingly quick. But let's take a quick look at why people buy these in the first place if they're so unreliable. Well, BMW has some of the most authentic headlights with the angel eyes, and of course their kidney grills is infamous and well known throughout the years. BMW also has some amazing styling. I mean, look at the front spoiler, look at those great wheels. And even the side is designed with some nice contours and forms to it, giving it a very attractive look all the way down the line. Sure, you can even get some carbon fiber if you get the M package and some upgraded trim levels. Here you can get X-Drive, which makes it great for snow and ice. And of course you have 1 and 2 great tailpipes, making the car look like a little hot rod in this wonderful 335. And of course, LEDs are par for the course, and just the overall look and style of the car is second to none. What about the interior? Well, let me tell you, when you're sitting in these well-bolstered, high-quality leather seats, there's very few cars out there in this price range that even come close to giving the level of luxury and the high-quality feel that you get when you sit behind the wheel of this luxury hot rod. So you want more? How about this? Right here, we have a BMW 2 Series. You'll notice the car is even shorter and even more stout. These cars are ultra popular for people that just like to zip around in traffic, possibly even taking up for the occasional track day. Now, while this is a 230, this has the turbo 4-cylinder engine. It's not exactly going to light your pants on fire, but rest assured the entire driving dynamic is still there, and BMWs have some powerful drivetrains and they're always punching above their weight class. But you want more? How about right here? We have a 7 Series BMW, and this is the 750, in other words, as a twin turbo V8, and makes an immense amount of power. It's as well more nicely equipped than a King's Throne. And looking at this beautiful M2 competition is just another example of why people buy BMWs, because they extract the passion. Of course, that's the one biggest complaint that you get from Lexus and Acura cars. They don't drive the passion like you get from cars like this. And it's not just the passion, but it's the motorsports. So BMW has actually one of the largest aftermarket parts availability, and there's a huge support network for people that like to make their cars go even faster, handle better like they're on rails, and possibly even look better with the right pieces. As you can see here, there's a bit more blend of form-following function. Of course, as you'll see, you've got vents down there, but it's more than just for style. There's lots of cooling that goes on because of that. Then as you look down the sides, you'll notice flared front fenders. That's for the wider wheels that you get on these cars. And you'll notice the back is really pronounced on the M2 competition, as you would find on the M4, typically more flare to allow for the wider wheels that are tucked underneath there. Of course, you've got quad pipes, and a carbon fiber wing which may assist for some downforce to keep the vehicle planted when performing high-speed maneuvers on a racetrack, of course. We don't do that on the street. And of course we have another beautiful BMW right here. It's a coupe, and it's the 440. So again, this one being the 40 series has the B58, arguably one of the most reliable engines in recent history for BMW, but it's also quite attractive. So it's more of a draw for people that are now concerned a little bit with reliability, as well as blending that with performance and driving experience. But it's really more than the driving experience or the conversation about reliability. It's the brand. BMW, as we're talking about here, is truly one of the purest luxury car brands on the market today. Why? With brands like Nissan, how they evolve into an Infiniti makes the Infiniti brand sort of watered down. Acura has spawned from Honda, and Lexus has spawned from Toyota, making them all sort of derivatives of a lower brand version. But BMW is its own beast. And for the purists that want something that's truly dialed in and truly from the brand, BMW, there's nothing like it. There's one little minor exception, and it's like this. Right there, we have a Cooper S. So we're talking about the Mini, BMW Mini. These actually share a lot of BMW parts. Some of the engines under those hoods are built from BMW parts, as are many electric components within. Means that Mini isn't a low-end model. As a matter of fact, one would argue it's a low-end luxury car. The only place they typically skimp in these is the fact that they use CVT transmission, which BMW generally doesn't. And so there's really no negatives in owning a BMW when they're new. It's like Range Rover or any other car. When they're brand new and you have warranty, they're great. And as a lot of people that are well-heeled do, is basically buy them, lease them for 2 or 3 or maybe even 5 years, and then when they're all done, kick them to the curb and then they're gone and they don't worry about it. So surprisingly, a lot of people don't even think about BMW and reliability, and they all think about all the positive attributes that I just spoke of. But for a lot of other people like you and I, a lot of times we wind up looking for a used purchase because maybe either we don't have the resources or we don't necessarily want to spend the money to buy a new BMW, and we believe the value comes from buying one that's 5 years old, because the average BMW loses about 55% of its original value in the first 5 years. So we see the value. But sadly, it's that after 5-year point where the original owner has literally run the wheels off of it. Now at that point, the car becomes a maintenance nightmare and a maintenance pig. Why? With engines like the N20 or the N63 with timing chains piling up, heat and cool cycles causing the plastics under the hood to start to disintegrate, which means you're starting to replace cooling hoses, water pumps, and thermostats on almost any BMW. Leaks are a problem across the board as well by the time you hit 4, 5, 6 years of age. And rod bearings are a thing that seem to go on many M cars with the S85 engines or even the S63 engines. So as I said before, people buy them because they're amazing to drive, they're stylish, they're purebreds, and what's not to love about them? The downside, of course, is unless you don't keep on top of the maintenance, you're gonna pay dearly, and as a result, many people don't have the funds to keep paying, and keeping those vehicles running tip-top ultimately means they transition to a maintenance hog and reliability falls off the cliff. And with all of that said, be sure to click on that video. You're going to love it. That's 10 of the most reliable luxury cars on the planet. Hope to see you guys on the next time. See you real soon. Bye-bye.